In the summer of 944, in the Aquitaine region of France, villagers started screaming that their skin was on fire. But there were no flames, just an invisible burning that crawled up their arms and legs. Then the hallucinations started. People saw demons crawling out of the walls, felt spiders under their skin, and ran naked through the fields swinging at things nobody else could see. By the time the outbreak ended, roughly 40,000 people were dead. Survivors watched their fingers and toes turn black and dry up like burnt twigs, then snap off cleanly at the joint. They called it St. Anthony's Fire. Monks of the Order of St. Anthony ran the hospitals that took in the mutilated survivors. Nobody had any idea what actually caused it. The real culprit was rye bread. A fungus called ergot grew on damp rye grain, and when villagers milled it into flour, they were essentially baking loaves laced with a natural relative of LSD. Ergot poisoning constricts blood vessels until the limbs literally rot off the body, while flooding the brain with vivid hallucinations. For 1,000 years, Europeans blamed it on witches, demons, and the wrath of God. Some historians think that this is what kicked off the Salem witch trials in 1692. The girls in Salem village had convulsions, saw spectral figures, and complained of pinching and burning sensations. All classic ergotism. That summer had been unusually wet, perfect conditions for ergot to bloom in the rye fields around Salem. 19 people were hanged before the panic burned itself out. August 1485. Henry Tudor had just won the Battle of Bosworth and taken the English throne. Within weeks of his coronation, London was hit by a disease nobody had ever seen before. It started with a sudden chill and a feeling of dread. Then came the sweat, followed by racing heart, delirium, and collapse. Most victims were dead within 3 to 18 hours. Contemporaries said a man could be cheerful at breakfast and dead by dinner. 2 Lord Mayors of London and 6 aldermen died in a single week during the first outbreak. Then it vanished, then it came back. 5 separate epidemics swept England between 1485 and 1551, each one arriving out of nowhere and disappearing just as fast. It weirdly targeted young, healthy, well-off Englishmen. The poor, the elderly, foreigners, and women were mostly spared. Nobody has ever satisfactorily explained why. After the 1551 outbreak, the sweating sickness simply disappeared from history. It never returned. Modern scientists still argue over whether it was a hantavirus, an unknown flu, or something we've never identified. Scrofula was a tuberculosis infection that caused huge weeping swellings on the neck. It rarely killed you, but it left you disfigured, oozing pus, and shunned by your neighbors. Starting in the 11th century, both English and French kings claimed they could cure it just by touching the sufferer. It was called the King's Evil, and the ceremony became a huge public spectacle. Edward the Confessor is credited with starting the tradition in England around 1050. Louis IX of France reportedly touched over 1,000 sufferers in a single ceremony. By the reign of Charles II of England, the ritual was industrial. He personally touched around 92,000 people during his 25 years on the throne, handing each one a gold coin called an angel. Did it work? Sometimes, actually. Scrofula often goes into remission on its own, so plenty of touched patients did get better and credited the king. The gold coin probably helped morale too. The French kings kept doing it until 1825. The English stopped after Queen Anne, whose last patient in 1712 was a 2-year-old boy named Samuel Johnson, the future dictionary author. It didn't cure him. In 1392, King Charles VI of France was riding through a forest near Le Mans when he suddenly attacked his own men, killing 4 knights before being subdued. He was 24 years old. After that episode, his mind never fully returned. He had periods of lucidity followed by months of madness, and during the worst of it, he became convinced his body was made of glass. He refused to let anyone touch him. He wore reinforced clothing padded with iron rods sewn into his robes to keep himself from shattering if he bumped a wall or a piece of furniture. The strange thing is, other people caught it too. Throughout the 15th and 16th centuries, European nobles kept turning up convinced they were partially glass. A buttocks made of glass was surprisingly popular. The philosopher René Descartes wrote about meeting these patients. Physicians called it the glass delusion, and it seems to have been almost exclusively a disease of the wealthy and educated. After about 1700, the delusion basically vanished. Some historians think it was tied to the newness of clear glass itself, which was a mysterious, prestigious material at the time. When glass became ordinary, the fear did too. Porphyria is a genetic disorder that breaks the body's ability to make heme, the molecule that gives blood its red color. In the worst cases, the symptoms look like something out of a horror novel. Sufferers become extremely sensitive to sunlight. Even brief exposure causes blistering, scarring, and thickened skin. Many porphyriacs only went outside at night. The gums recede dramatically, making the teeth look elongated and fang-like. The skin around the mouth and nose can pull tight and scar, giving the face a stretched, animalistic look. Urine turns dark red or purple, especially after sunlight exposure. To a medieval villager finding a stained chamber pot, it looked exactly like the person had been drinking blood. Some severe forms also cause anemia, and folk medicine of the time actually prescribed drinking fresh animal blood as a cure, which meant porphyriacs were sometimes literally seen drinking blood in the moonlight. Biochemist David Dolphin proposed the vampire connection in 1985. Not every folklorist agrees, but the overlap is uncanny. Photosensitivity, receding gums, blood in the urine, night activity, and since porphyria is inherited, family clusters. A single village with a porphyria family living in it would have generations of pale, fanged, sun-avoiding people who occasionally drank blood. The legend basically wrote itself. And a Transylvanian folktale eventually made its way to a novelist named Bram Stoker in 1897.